if you can sell, whether that's your expertise, your products, your designs, whatever it is you're selling, the world is your oyster. You'll always be able to survive in this world, come rain or shine. And I think everyone should have the ability to be able to sell effectively and in a way that they enjoy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Zest for Life. And to be honest, since I changed the podcast name and moved it through all of its iterations, I have only done solo episodes. So this is my first guest episode since I absolutely switched up the name of the podcast. And it couldn't be more apt for the person that I've got on because it's a massive part of how she's framed some of her business. So I'm really delighted to introduce Jade to you all today. So Jade, let people know a little bit about you.
Well, hello. This is exciting, isn't it?
Very excited.
Thank you for having me. So I'm Jade, and I met Charlotte many years ago now when she joined a mastermind I used to run with a friend of mine. And she's been a part of my life ever since. You've been in my groups, haven't you? And we've been together on the weekend with another friend of mine's at Mastermind. And the reason why Charlotte and I came together, because everything that I do in relation to my zestful part of the internet is all things sales, growth, and creating your ultimate freedom lifestyle. So I do mentoring and coaching, speaking, training, all of those lovely things. And I'm super excited to be here with you on the newly branded podcast as your first guest. How fun.
You're my first guest, and I love it because I want to take our audience through a bit of a journey. I'm always really real on the podcast. So I want to talk about when I first set the business up. And I basically didn't really know what I was doing. I was just rolling with the passion and basically the zest that I had to help people and be out of the quite intense job that I had at the time and really go for it in the entrepreneur space. And I think I first came across Jade just in the online space, possibly Facebook, possibly Instagram. I don't quite know what platform. And then like Jade said, I was so early on in my entrepreneur journey, and I went into a mastermind that was held by Jade and another person. So in this mastermind, Jade and Lisa, both of the leaders of the mastermind, were both saying to me, can't you see how great you are? Can't you see how great you are? And at that stage, I was like, no, because I was a little bit shell-shocked because these women are like super successful. And also a lot of people in that mastermind, my perception at that time was a lot of people in that mastermind were super successful. And one of the things I will always remember with Jade, well, with both Jade and Lisa, but with Jade in particular, is that this like unshakable belief in where I was going. So let's take people on a little brief bit of the old human design.
Yeah.
Why one of your super strengths is where you can see where people are going.
Yeah, great question. So I am a human design projector. I'm a 5/1, self-projected. And the projectors, in essence, we are the guides. And my whole design, my specific design for me says I'm all here for the success of the other. So this lifetime is not about me. It's not about my success. It is about the success for the other. And where I have a real genius is, first of all, being able to like spot potential and talent. And I did actually do that in a past life when I was in corporate, but also being able to like see the potential and then coming out. The way I explain it is like I can go up in the air like an eagle and I can just see where you want to be, what is possible. And it's almost like a chessboard. And I can just see like, Charlotte, we just need to do this roadblock here. That might happen, but we can go there. It's like, for me, it's like super simple. And then being able to hold the hands of the client, the student, and not just like give them the strategy, but help them get there. Like sometimes that means sitting in the weeds, sometimes it means helping them over those hurdles or obstacles. And it was just clear as day for me of how powerful you were, the potential that you had, and that I think I said something to you along the lines of where you don't have that belief, like borrow mine for now because it's there. I have it in bucket loads.
It was like this unshakable certainty. And it was like, I can remember it very, very clearly. And one of the beautiful things about Jade and I friendship is that's just stayed. So we're 5 years on. We like randomly message each other on Instagram. What's going on? What's happening? We've been in and out of spaces that we've both been in jointly. And like I say, I've been Jade's client, bought many of her programs. So one of the things I really want to touch on is, which I feel is one of your superpowers, is this relationship. It's not just about sales. So when you work with somebody like you, yes, I know a lot of people listening might be terrified of sales, all of that sort of stuff, and they might have imposter and all of that stuff that I've talked about, I've worked through. But Jade actually gets you on the, well, I was going to say on the human, but she gets you on the multi dimensions, really. So whether you want to come in with the full human about, okay, these are my sales blocks, it's imposter, it's comparisonitis, it's, I feel sick selling, whatever it might be. But actually for me, Jade was like, I just see all of you and I'm going to hold you with love, with a kick up the arse when you need it, with a gentle encouragement for expansion in a way that has always been wrapped up in fun.
We have so much fun, don't we?
Massive fun.
Yeah. So I think you're so right. So many people just think sales is just like putting bums on seats or fannies on seats. Should we be saying butts on seats? And I've always looked at it from like the multi-layers. Even when I was selling to corporate clients, it was always about the high level strategy, the objectives of the business overview, like overall who is involved in the process, like the humans that are affected and how everyone's feeling along the way. Because if you're not enjoying what you do, irrelevant of if you're in a job and you're selling or you're selling for yourself, like life is too short to be selling something you don't want to be selling, or B, selling to people you don't enjoy being with. And if you can find a product and service that you love and find people that you love, it truly just doesn't feel like work. It feels like you are creating magic. And I've always said to my clients, you are light workers changing the world one sale at a time. I've never seen it as the transaction. It's always about the impact, the ripple effect. I mean, even hearing about all of your wins over the years, like I love seeing it and hearing it, because it's like, I think of, it's like all my, like my business babies are out there, like causing.
We've all graduated.
You have, and you're having this like massive impact in your own business and the ripple effect of your clients, and you're all off doing things and running your own masterminds and speaking on stages and writing books. And there's this it's like a proud mama bear of, look at them all go. It's like the little chicks all off, and then sometimes they come back for something else and then they're off again. It's just so beautiful. So yeah, I'll never get bored of talking about sales. I really think it is the most loving thing you can do. I think that it is, especially for women, it is our ticket to our ultimate freedom lifestyle. Because if you can sell, whether that's your expertise, your products, your designs, whatever it is you're selling, the world is your oyster. You'll always be able to survive in this world, come rain or shine. And I think everyone should have the ability to be able to sell effectively and in a way that they enjoy.
So just give people who are brand new to your world a little bit about why you are so epic at sales, a little bit of a whistle-stop tour at all your proven record, because it's phenomenal. I only get epic people on here, but Jade never leads with, I've done this, and I've helped, or, that's not Jade's approach. So I really want to give you to, whistle stop tour, tell people that actually you are pretty darn good at this.
Thank you. I owe a lot of my success to the amazing leaders that I've been really privileged to work with and learn from. So, I mean, my days of selling started off when I was knee high. My first business, how old was I? I think I was 11. And it was with my friend at school. And I had this idea for us to make. Do you remember? They still have them now, but like the scrunchy hairbands.
Yeah.
So her mum had a sewing machine, and I think I knew where to get some material. And we even had a brand name. We had a logo. Like, looking back, I'm like, that was so advanced for like age 11.
Yeah.
And we used to make these hairbands, and we used to sell them at school, and also the teachers would buy them. And I was that kid who was always out looking for a way to earn money. I would go and like walk dogs, wash cars, babysit. I was the oldest of 4, so I was expected to do a lot of babysitting and things, but I didn't get paid, and I used to feel really resentful. So I used to want to go outside and get my own money. So I did start young, but my official, what I would say, like my official sales training happened when I graduated from business school. So I did my master's, my degree, and then my master's, and I landed in a role in corporate sales. And I still remember the interview now. I went to interview for one department, and then the story goes that the HR manager, who was actually the brother of the MD, went running to the co-founder's office and said, I've interviewed someone for so-and-so's department, but she's awesome. I think she'd be really great for your team as well. So I then met with him, and they offered me both jobs, and I got to choose which one. So the one that I did choose was working for an amazing guy called Richard, who Charlotte's had the pleasure of meeting. And he ran the team, which was the sales team. So I was basically given a desk and a phone, and I was told to ring these companies and win business with companies on this list. And then when we got the appointments and won them as a client, we were helping them grow and scale their sales teams. And so many amazing things happened in that role, but I was promoted quicker than anyone else. I was over target more than anyone else that year. I became one of their top performers in the business, won awards like company awards, industry awards. Absolutely loved it. Loved my clients. I won some amazing big clients like FTSE 100s and Fortune 500s, like, multi-billion turnover brand leaders who, again, like, I learned a lot about leadership from working with them, but also the guys, the 2 guys that I work for. It was like working for like Richard Branson and Robin Sharma or Tony Robbins. They were just the most amazing leaders in relation to how to create high performing teams who are loyal, who love the business they work for, who excel in all areas of their life. They were really into their like high performance. They were triathletes. There was a lot of discussions around health and stuff as well. And learned so much from them. And then we got taken over by a Fortune 500 who offered them a really attractive offer to buy them, who then became my directors and who were also amazing but very different. So I'd gone from working for a very entrepreneurial company, reporting into the founders, and now working for this massive company who are bigger than Microsoft with head office in the Netherlands. And then they selected 20-ish of their employees away for 3 days for this talent camp for what they said was their aspiring future leaders. And they got us all in a room on the last day, and I'll never forget it. And they basically told us that they were looking for some board members in the next couple of years, and that the reason that we were there is that they like to think that those next executives for this company were in the room. And as they shared this with us, I saw everyone's excitement, like, to be on the board of this massive, like, Fortune 500 market leader. And my heart sunk because I just realized this is not what I want. I don't care about a title or a badge. What was really important to me was freedom. And I made a decision shortly after that to leave the company and go off on my own. And I had quite a while, like all of us in the beginning, like figuring out what that was. I just knew I wanted to help people, and found myself in a group program. Long story short, found my first clients through my peers that were there, because I naturally started helping people in finding their own clients. And then the penny dropped. I was like, well, there's my niche. I just do what I was doing for the corporate companies for these coaches and founders and service providers. And then it's just been a really amazing journey since then. I've spoke on stages. I've been invited to Necker Island, masterminded with Sir Richard Branson. I'm going to be at his private reserve in South Africa this year. Worked with Virgin. I've worked with some of the biggest, 6, 7, 8-figure leaders in the online space, helping them in scaling through group programs. And I've also helped a lot of women who are starting out make their first sales and having their first like $1,000 month, their first like 5-figure month. So all of the like small milestones as well. And it's been a really fun ride, and I'm just so grateful for the whole journey.
And so that when I say Jade's an expert, she is on multiple levels. But one of the things with Jade is she's a secret weapon for lots of people, like a behind the scenes. Jade is very much the person that you want in your back pocket. And she allows the business, whoever that might be, to run their launches, whatever it is, do whatever they're going to do, with Jade basically behind the scenes, absolutely just raking in the sales. And that's what you love, isn't it? You don't want to be the front person. You love being that person that's supporting, like you say, the people that have got the light workers. Your role is to help them create more impact. And I just think that's really beautiful. And there's so many people that I have worked for that like Jade's just been in the back, in their back pocket, basically.
Yeah.
And you would never have known, because they one of the beautiful things with Jade's is that the person who she's working with, they don't suddenly change and be any different. What Jade has an ability to do is, and I want to go on to this next, is to energetically hold people in an expansion so they can move through a launch or move through a period of time where they really want to sell more and feel like somebody's got their back. So let's talk about energy, because that's the next thing.
Definitely. The energy is a big part of it. And the further along I've gone in my business, the more I realize how important it is, more than the strategy. When you are selling as a personal brand, it's different if you're just selling for a business, but as a personal brand, it is very different. And quite quickly in my business, like even in my first kind of year, I was attracting people who in their business were already at, 6 figures, multi 6 figures. And then, as I progressed, like 7 and 8 figures. And I've always been this person that even people who haven't been my clients, but very like big names in the online space, would come to me when they have issues with like clients or legal issues or something that they're navigating. And I think the reason why this always happened is because of my experience before. I think a lot of people, when they come into the online space, they can be a bit like fangirly and like, oh my God, this person's been on Forbes, or they've got like, I don't know, 500 Instagram followers, and they think it's like really like, wow, a big thing. And I'm not saying it's not a big thing, but for me, like my life, I have, always been in the circles of like when I was in my younger years, in my 20s, like my customers were like billionaires, A-listers, and royalty. So when I came in the online space, and I've obviously like worked with them, and also like big CEOs of like gigantic, big global household brands, coaches, like a 6-figure or 7-figure coach wasn't anything really big to me. It was just another human. So I think I've always had this like very grounded approach, and I was quickly very trusted by people, because people know that if they come to me, everything stays confidential. I don't even share that I'm working with you unless you do. And I'm really good with dealing with the challenges that can happen in entrepreneurship that a lot of people have not navigated before, and they haven't been in a role where they've had to like navigate difficult situations, with challenging people situations and people problems, which is going to happen in all businesses. But because I'd done that for so many years, and I'd seen my directors lead with such finesse and humility and compassion, and I became a leader like them. I just had been I've been up close with the best of the best of the best. And yeah, I'm really proud of all the work that happens silently. I mean, some of it's not so silent, and I go through my phases as a projector, and I might be more vocal about things that I'm doing. But then people always say to me, like, what, how did you end up, like doing this? Like, you have not even mentioned this. I remember when I was on my way to Necker Island, I hadn't told anyone, and I was literally on the little plane, because when you get to the end bit, you have to go on this like really tiny plane, and someone was messaging me, and they were like very successful at the time, and we were messaging, and they said, "What are you up to?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just on a plane." They said, "Where you going?" I said, "Oh, I'm just on my way to Necker Island." They was like, "What?" They said, "What? How did you get invited there?" I said, "Well, I was invited to speak on stage for Virgin, and I've been doing this stuff with them and like helping their funded entrepreneurs, and then it's led to this." And they said, if that would have been me, I would have been leveraging the F out of that for the last 6 months. But that's very me. I'm very like, I'll make my moves behind the scenes, and then I'll just pop up and I'll be somewhere like uber cool. So I like it that way. And I think as a projector, it's a really great way to reserve my energy for the things that are really necessary.
And that is exactly you. But also, I think there's a real beautiful blend of energy with you, where it's like really grounded in expertise, in practical advice, in tools, all of that stuff, really grounded, proven techniques. But then there's this like humor and fun, so people don't get so I remember when I've been working with you on certain things, and you can get yourself into a right tears when you're either in a launch or you're selling something, and you can just overthink anything. And you were just bringing like a humor piece, and so many things of your phrases are just like the same things I find myself saying to my clients. And I quote you, and I say, "Oh my goodness, are you stuck planning?" Because that's what Jade taught me, that you're just like being busy on something on the back end, rather than actually, looking for who it is that you want to serve and talking with them.
Yeah, you've got to have fun. I was always told, at your age, not your shoe size. And I think I grew up with this view that when you get to an adult, our adults are going to be like boring and sensible. And then suddenly when I became an adult, I was like, you haven't got to be like that. You can be playful, have fun, swear, do silly things. And there's a time and a place for being sensible and being, professional or being focused. But then once all that's done, you can totally be playing. And I'm often, when I'm not working, I'm out barefoot, out in nature, grounding, with my friends. Like my friends, we love to play, we love to just do like fun stuff. Like if I go to the park, I will actually, like near where we are now, we actually have a park we have the gym, so like the park gyms, but there's also in the kids park there's a zip wire. So I still go on the zip wire and squeeze in the swings and I love it. So I think it's there. And as a projector as well, it's so important for us to be playing throughout the day and just leaning into our projector power and then playing some more, resting. And it's how I do my best work, when I'm having fun.
Oh, definitely. And I think there's a real part of that thread, because for people that know my journey, I came from full on mental health, incredibly intense. You couldn't even smile in the role that I was in, really, to be fair, when you were representing people at court. So then I was in this place where it's like, I went in with this illusion that I had to be really serious to be able to be successful. And I was really fortunate coming into the space, like the timing that I did with the mentors that I did, to be able to go, actually, do you know what? One of your biggest assets, and Jade and I were talking about this at the weekend, one of my biggest assets is the whole energy, the whole fun and the lightness. And I can remember at times it was getting really squashed. And Jade's like, but that's one of your biggest things. What are you doing? And it's when you've got somebody like that, no matter where you are on a journey, I know wherever I am, I could just message Jade and say, look, and we have done this. this is where I am. And then Jade's given a little bit of the old whatever I had to receive at that time. And then it's like, how's everything with you? And then it's all like wrapped up, resolved, and then we move on.
And then you're off again. You're off on
off on my jet ski.
into the stratosphere.
So let's talk about Zest. And first of all, let people know about what Zest means to you and how they can find you and everything like that. So all of the details will be underneath, like normal, underneath the episodes. But just let people know a little bit about because when I was telling you about bringing out Zest Manifestation, it was like, oh, this is really exciting. I can't wait to tell Jade. Because Zest is a really, really potent word for us both.
It is. So when I was deciding on the name for my business way back when, I was going through all the words. I knew I wanted to have the freedom, but the other words, I can't explain how many. And I can remember having this conversation with someone at the time who was backwards and forwards, going through the thesaurus, all the words, A to Z. And then when Zest came up, I was like, I just instantly knew, because it's a word I've always used in relation to the meaning of it, when you look at the positive psychology part of it, but also it's like that zest that zest for life. Like, I've always liked the word. It's very like zesty. So for me, it was always about your own version of freedom, that je ne sais quoi, that like juiciness, that fun, that pizzazz, like whatever you call it. But for me, that the zest encompasses it all, and it's like however it feels and whatever it means to you. So I love that you are leaning into Zest, and I feel like with you, for the fun side of manifestation, I think that is where you really, really are in your power, because like you said, like so many women and adults just reach that point where they're so in their head that they lose the fun. And when you lose the fun and you lose the play, that is when you lose the magic. And you can't be manifesting when you're over here doing mental gymnastics trying to figure out solutions. You need to be able to like let go and enjoy yourself and allow those, like, not just chemicals, but the energy to do its magic. So I just love that you've really like brought it all together and bringing in your work with the energy, but also your fun side, and bringing it together in this like manifestation, marvelous like new podcast and program. It's so you. I'm absolutely obsessed.
Let's just tell the leaders a little bit. So both Jade and I are trained in breathwork. I don't know, we probably did it at a similar time, and it's a massive, it's a phenomenal tool, breathwork, an absolutely phenomenal tool. But I hadn't experienced Jade's breathwork practices, because when I worked with her before, she hadn't quite trained in it, and for whatever reason, it hadn't come my way. And I was in this space of really walking the walk of what I teach. So I'd had a day at the spa. I totally turned off from everything. I knew there was something energetically coming in. I didn't quite know what it was, to be fair, but I knew there was something that was going to land, and it hadn't quite made it. And I've been on Jade's email list for like probably 5 years. And there was an email, because Jade is really good at email, so get on her email list. There was an email that was like, by the way, I've just decided this on my walk. I've just basically got the nudge to do this breath work. And what had you called it?
It was manifesting magic. And I was doing my walk barefoot, grounding, and it was purely channeled. It was like, you need to do this breath work. It's some manifestation, and you've got to do it tonight. And this was like in the afternoon. I'm like, okay.
And that was it. And it was literally, I got the email like 10 to 8 or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, let me just get on it. Said to Jade, I've bought it, but I don't know where the link is. And it was all a bit like that. I'll drop the link in. So then I got myself right in bed. So full works, with full on spa hair, because when you've gone to a spa, it's the whole thing. It's like, this is going to be absolutely magical. And and I will say this, when you've done breathwork yourself, the benefit of it. But when you actually do it with somebody that you absolutely trust, you allow yourself to let go a bit more. And so you allow yourself to really explore the experience in a different way than if you were a new person sitting in the room with new people, maybe. So I was dead excited, really excited. And the music, Jade had just like basically channeled this absolutely epic compilation. And it was it about 45 minutes, an hour or something?
We were breathing for an hour plus the shares afterwards. It was quite.
And if people haven't done that before, that is quite a that's quite a session.
Yeah.
Because
they're the full journey ones. You can do shorter ones, but the ones we do lying down, it's very like
it's like a workout.
Yeah, it is, and that's why the transformations are just like miracles to observe. And I don't know if you want to share anything that happened to you, because it was so fun.
Yeah, I will. So kind of like and like anyone that's listening that's done breathwork, there's multiple types, but ultimately whether it's short or long, you're kind of looking at what you're going to release, what you're going to let go of, and then what you're going to call in. So that was the kind of pattern, and Jade had this really epic music that went with it. And all sorts of the way that Jade was talking, I was totally in it. I was fully immersed in the experience. And I think it made a difference because there was nobody else at home. So then I'm very, very visual because my energy comes in visual and sound. And I had found myself, part of the visual was that I was in like a Ferrero Rocher wrapper. So if people don't know, they're like a chocolate that's in a wrapper, like a gold wrapper that's then like in a brown base, and they're all in like an oblong box. And part of this whole like, what are you going to let go of? What are you going to let go of? I was like in this wrapper, in this visual, kind of like pushing myself out of it. And Jade, as she's doing the breath work, the music's getting louder, Jade's getting louder. What are you going to really let go of? What are you going to really? And I like push myself out of this Ferrero Rocher wrapper, going, yeah, I'm free. And like I'm like crying but not crying. It was a real all I can say is it was a real immersion. And then Jade said at the end, does anybody want to share? And I was like, yeah, I've like been in a Ferrero Rocher wrapper. I've blasted myself out of there. It was really good, Jade, and you've definitely shifted something. And then we all, like Jade, checked everybody was okay, like you would do at the end of a breathwork session, make sure, because some people will go on. You've always got to check people at the end. And so we all went off, and I thought, I'm going to message her probably within about an hour because something's going to happen, because I know myself so well, and I also know that was super potent. And I'd managed to go pretty much straight to sleep because I'd exhausted myself getting out the Ferrero Rocher wrapper. And I had woken up about 2 hours later, and I couldn't, I was going to listen to a meditation. And so I picked up my phone, and it was like, oh, you've got this refund from HMRC. It's like nearly 3K. And I was like, what? I didn't even know that was going on. And this was all about manifesting what you want. So I was like, I'm manifesting abundance. And then within the next morning, before 9 a.m. the next morning, another client had come into my academy. And it was like, Jade, you've just like, we've spent like an hour hanging out. I've been in Ferrero Rocher, and then 6K has come in. It was just like magical.
By the time I woke up, I was like, and I'm totally not surprised, because first of all, I always say, like with everything I do, the modality I'm trained in is very powerful. I know that I create custom scripts, I get my own downloads, we have amazing playlists, and I accept all of that. But something magical happens in the room, whether I do them in person, as I do sometimes, or in like online in a Zoom room. The energy of the collective, it's like we open a portal to all of the magic, the higher selves, the gods, the universe, like everything comes in. So the things that happen are unexplainable, like they are out of this world. So I've the amount of stories that I've got of things that people have seen and felt and heard in these sessions and achieved, like literally within hours. Like I'm now like Of course. Like, I'm just like, yes, like we were magical together. So
Well, it was quite interesting because I had all the guys and I had Abraham, and I was like,
yeah, I
Jade,
was
I've
hanging
smashed
out
out
with
the
Abraham.
Pharaoh, I've got Abraham, I've got all my guys, we've got all the magic. Let's see what happens. And it's what I teach in manifestation, the ability to have a vibration that's about let's just see what happens
Yeah.
is when you're the most potent, because you're not attached to anything. There's a play part. It's coming from within. There's no element of judge or expectation. You just let's see. And and that's where I was as we closed out the session. It's like, let's see. And that's like, boom, boom.
Yeah. I think that it's a testament to your openness, your playfulness, and your ability to just believe in what's possible, even when it can't be seen, that all happened, because that's a big part of the manifestation and the energy work to come to fruition. We can't just write a list of things we want. We have to actually feel and have the gratitude and like lean into the like childlike wonder that we so many of us lose as adults. And even
There's so much, and I say this and I teach this in the academy, there's so much about embodiment on a whole different level. And I think for that, and why I will just keep doing more and more of your breathwork sessions, is that we have like a human to human trust and a friendship, and like back each other and respect. So we have that layer. There's there's nothing that queries anything that I'm going to do with Jay. So I don't have any questions. It's not a new experience or anything like that. So that's also a layer that's already in there. And then it's just like energetically, embodiment is your greatest tool. And I think that's one of the things that you embody sales in a way that's fun. And I don't think I have ever met anyone like it that has got such a track record that is like not you don't lead with sales like other people do. You lead with your energy that's much more grounded, and the sales are like a byproduct of how you hold the people.
Thank you. Well, that means a lot. And that is what we're all here for, because it's not just about the money and the numbers. It is about the people, and it is about how we all feel. And I think that is the biggest takeaway from all of this, in if we can all really like lean into that trust, that is what it is. It really is an energetic exchange. It really is us showing up and serving, and that like the possibilities of what we can all achieve when we're exchanging all of these services and coaching and education and stuff. The money will come, the wealth will come, the big opportunities will come. And it also comes from like a really loving place, that where you feel good, you can sleep at night and think, do you know what, I made all of those sales and did all of those amazing things, and I was a good person along the way, and I didn't, lie or cheat or use any like weird, icky, pushy tactics. I just really helped beautiful humans who I absolutely adore, who are doing amazing work in the world. And that's really what really effective sales is, in my opinion.
Thank you so much. Have you got anything else that you want to share with the audience? Because we could talk for ages, because we just have so much fun.
I just want to finish off by saying, if you are listening to this and you haven't yet worked with Charlotte, like, you need to get yourself in the room with her to whatever level you can do that, because her energy is infectious. You will be changed in ways that you don't even see possible in you yet. It's not just fun. I know the work that you do is really potent, really powerful, and I know how much you care as well. So definitely like get yourself in rooms with Charlotte where you can. And I know I didn't share with you before when you did ask, but the best place to find me is Instagram. If you're an Instagram person, I'm Freedom Zest. And you can also find me on Facebook, which is my name, Jade Jemma with a J, and also LinkedIn. But we'll give the links here. But Instagram is normally where I hang out mostly.
And how can people get on your email list? Because then they will get the magic of the, I've just got to download about breath work. How can people get into your world?
I would say the best thing, I mean, it depends when anyone's listening, but the best thing at the moment, there's a really great new instant access training you can find from the bio in Instagram
Yeah,
and
and it's
Facebook.
really good because I watched it.
Did you watch it? Did you like
Yeah,
it?
I liked it. Yeah, really liked it.
Yeah. I really wanted to do something like really going granular on like what
Yeah,
worked for
yeah,
me and for clients, because I'm really so over these things that people do, and it's like, we're going to teach you this, and then they just give you this like overview,
yeah,
and then they talk about themselves, and then they try and say something. It's like, what was that?
yeah,
What a waste of an hour of my life.
yeah.
And I just wanted to do something where it's actually some really good training, and like this is actually what works. And without the whole big like pitch at the end. So that's a great thing. But I'm like super relaxed. Like, you can come and message me anytime, let me know a little bit about what's going on, and we've got lots of different freebies. Even if it's not like officially public, we'll give you access. So there's loads of like cool stuff in the archive.
Thank you so much. And all of Jade's details will be underneath. Definitely get onto that, watch that free. We'll definitely just get into her world, because as I'm sure you have picked up on this episode, she is phenomenal at what she does. We have a great amount of fun together, and I only bring experts on that are really going to walk the walk, because I wouldn't put you in front of anybody that didn't massively trust. So thank you so much. When are we going to hang out again?
Soon. Let's definitely, next time you're in London, let me know. We'll go and get our feet off, and we'll go and do some grounding.
Yeah, let's do. I'll do my next bit of magic on that we'll talk about separately.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Jade. I massively appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.